Well, there's lots of controversy. Game of the Year awards are announced and kind of the internet lost its mind. There's a lot of controversy over these choices. So I just want to talk about it today because some of these games I've played, some I haven't, some that I think should have been on this list, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down below. So yes, the Game Awards just announced. Jeff Keighley, of course, who's in charge of the Game Awards, releasing these 6 choices. And of course, you can go and vote right now online, and they will be announced at the Game Awards ceremony on December 12th. So some controversy here. I think people are sort of melting down over some of it here, but let's just go through these announcements here and the choices that are on this list. Game of the Year, Astrobot. Huge fan of this game. I'm still playing it and I'm absolutely loving it. And honestly, it's close for me, I think, being my Game of the Year. I'm going to do my Game of the Year video probably in a few weeks, but right now, this is sitting at the top of my charts, very, very, very high on my list. And I'm going through trying to get all of the Astrobots that I can. I think I have about 240 of them right now out of 300 that you have to collect. So I'm going to definitely try to go for the platinum on this game. In fact, I just bought a copy for my kids to play for Christmas so they can all get together and play their own copy of this game. So really excited about this. So yes, Astrobot, I'm glad that that's on this list. It's an amazing game. Balatro. I've heard so many people talking about this game. Of course, they've released it now for iOS. You can play it on the Steam Deck. You can play it on all these different platforms. And people absolutely love this game. I have not jumped into this game, but I'm sort of surprised that this one's in here. This has certainly got a huge following right now. But if you're kind of put a game like this into it, that I think is, kind of a surprise indie move here. I think it's interesting that some other kind of big indie darlings didn't get put on this list this year, like Animal Well, not on this list. But we'll come back to that. So Black Myth Wukong. Really stunned that this game is in here. I really feel like this one got swept under the rug. This is a game I'm actually waiting on the physical release of, and won't be out till later in December before I can get a physical release on the PS5. Otherwise, I would have played it by now. And that's so frustrating. Like Alan Wake 2 did that. Like, you get the digital copy, I have to wait a year before I can play this game. So Black Myth Wukong, I've been waiting for this. Yes, I'm waiting for the physical before I dive into that, but it looks like a game that would be up my alley. And I kind of love that it pissed off a lot of the wokies out there for whatever reason. And I'm glad that it made this list. I'm sort of surprised, to be honest. So I think this is where some of the anger is coming from. And anytime the wokies get upset about something, yes, it makes me very, very happy. But here's where a lot of the controversy is coming in today. It's around Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, which of course is an expansion. It's a downloadable content, a DLC. And so should a DLC be allowed to be included as Game of the Year? I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. It's not its own game. Of course, it has an entirely new story that you have to complete and go through. And you can only even get to this point if you've completed a major portion of Elden Ring. Now, to be fair, I've only played about an hour of Elden Ring, and it came at a point in my life when I was going through some stuff and I wasn't able to commit to it fully, so I didn't even have access to my PlayStation at that time. So anyway, I want to come back to Elden Ring. I want to go through the whole thing. I want to experience this from beginning to end. I want to do all of the DLC. Yes, it's on my list of games to play, but I haven't got a chance to play it yet. But I feel like, wow, that would be interesting, because Elden Ring won Game of the Year, right? What if the DLC wins Game of the Year in its sort of sequel form? It'd be pretty interesting. It's almost reminds me a little bit of like Godfather. Godfather 1 winning Best Picture at the Academy Awards, and then a few years later, Godfather 2 wins Best Picture, the only movies in film history to do that back-to-back, a sequel to one Best Picture. So in many ways, that story is building off of the first story. We're not introducing you to these characters for the first time in the second Godfather film, nor are we introducing you to these characters for the first time in Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's building off of the success of the first one, and it's phenomenal, apparently. So why shouldn't it be on this list in and of itself? It is a game, and a lot of people saying it's almost as big as the first game itself. This expansion is almost like its own thing. So again, let me know what you think about Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree being added to this list. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, another game I haven't played yet because I want to go back and play first Final Fantasy VII, the remaster, and then go through, play Remake, and then Rebirth. So these are on my deep backlog. I'll get to them at some point, and I actually really want to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, maybe on a PlayStation Pro at some point if I end up picking that up. I've heard to play it on the PlayStation 5 kind of looks like you're looking through Vaseline the whole time. It's just got this haziness to it on the PS5. But I have friends who've absolutely loved this game, said it's up there for one of their games of the year, one of the greatest games they've ever played. So I'm excited to see what Rebirth has to offer. I'm not surprised that that's on this list. And then a surprise that kind of came in here at the end of the year, and that is Metaphor Refantasio. This is a game I'm looking forward to playing over Christmas when I have some time. I bought it. I've been waiting for it, but I'm going to hold off a little bit till I get some time here when I have some time off work and I can actually sit down and enjoy this game. Not feel rushed to like put out a video review or anything like that, but just to be able to sit back and enjoy it. So those are the 6 games that are selected here for Game of the Year awards. I don't know. I feel like there's a couple of big holes that are missing here, a couple of gaping holes. I'm surprised that like Balatro is on here. That feels like, I don't know. It feels like they're doing that just to please some people. I don't know. I don't know. To me, there's some other bigger games in here that were more complete, bigger experiences that should have been on this list. To me personally, again, this is me personally, but just looking at this thinking, where is like Unicorn Overlord? And I think also we end up having some recency bias, because when you look at this list, you're like, most of these games are recent games. Like, what about the beginning of the year? We always get into this argument, like, where's the beginning of 2024? We had some great games at the beginning of the year. Yeah, where is Unicorn Overlord from Vanillaware? An Atlas release game, one of my favorite games I've ever played. I put in, well over 100 hours into that game. I completed it 100%. And I played it on the Nintendo Switch. I said I wish I would have played it on the PlayStation to get that platinum, but yeah, I completed that game 100%. I did a whole video review of that. The music is astonishing. The combat is amazing. The team building is fantastic. To me, it seems like maybe you kick Balatro off this list to put Unicorn Overlord here. Another indie darling, which blew me away and may be one of my favorite Metroidvania games ever made, is Animal Well. I'm surprised that Animal Well is not on this list. Developed by one individual. He wrote the music, he wrote the game, he did everything top to bottom. And it was really an astonishing, Metroidvania game, and beautiful ambiance, sound effects, really just gorgeous game. And it's a game that has a lot of replayability to be able to come back to over and over and over again. So I'm surprised that maybe Animal Well could have been on this list. I don't know. Also, this is surprising and a little bit of controversy this year. No Nintendo games. I mean, PlayStation really cleaning up here. Sony Studios cleaning up here with this list of games. No Nintendo games. But then you have to ask yourself, well, if we're allowed to have, a DLC, can we also have a remake on here? Super Mario and the Thousand Year Door. Paper Mario, and the Thousand Year Door. Can we have that on this list? An amazing game. Yes, it's been remade to the Nintendo Switch off of the GameCube. What about that? What about Silent Hill 2? Now, here's a game I just finished. Yes, it is a remake, but might as well be a brand new game because it really is. It has that Resident 4 feeling to it, and that gets nominated for a Game of the Year. Why isn't Silent Hill 2, which was really an astonishing, to me, a remake and just an experience. The sound design was unbelievable listening to that game with headphones on. It creeped the absolute hell out of me. First time I saw those mannequins in one of the apartment buildings, oh my God, I freaked out. So yeah, Silent Hill 2. Why is that not on this list? What about Stellar Blade? Another game that, again, I think bothers the wokies out there because they're like, oh, you can't have a woman looking sexy in a game anymore. It's 2024. They have to have blue hair and they have to have a penis, right? That's what women are in 2024 to the woke audience. So Stellar Blade, you have a beautiful woman, a beautiful protagonist with some unbelievable near automata style gameplay, fantastic music, beautiful world building, graphics looked amazing, silky smooth combat with a sword play was fantastic, and really great story. Why is that not on this list? To me, those would have been some of my additional nominees this year to the Game Awards. But anyway, yeah, controversy about this. I can't wait to get my hands on Black Myth Wukong. I've been, again, waiting for the physical copy of this game to show up. I will not play the digital. They do this, like Alan Wake 2. They release the digital and then we're going to wait a year before I can get my hands on a physical copy? Really? Come on. How many more sales would you have if you released the physical right up front? Same with Black Myth Wukong. Seems like it's a game that absolutely would be right up my alley. So I'm waiting till mid-December until they release the physical copy of Black Myth Wukong. But I don't know. I feel like I'm surprised. And maybe we don't even have, Echoes of Wisdom on here. A Legend of Zelda game, which was highly reviewed, very, very well from just about every source that I I have a lot of respect for. Loved the game. Thought it was really, really good. Yeah, I could see like Mario Brothership, maybe not up to snuff. A lot of graphical issues. Didn't review as well. So again, I'm a little surprised there's no Nintendo games listed here. You put Balatro instead of Thousand Year Door. You put Balatro instead of instead of Echoes of Wisdom. Huge, Zelda game. Okay. And look, I haven't played Balatro yet, so maybe I'm totally missing something. How many of you have played Balatro? Am I totally wrong about this? It just a deck building roguelike doesn't seem like up my alley, but maybe I'll give it a shot now that it's on this list. But let me know, guys, what do you guys think about the Game Awards list here? Games that I'm definitely going to play, though: Metaphor ReFantazio. I cannot wait. That's one of the games I've been looking forward to. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at some point, probably play it on the PS5 Pro eventually, maybe, or wait till the PS6 to play it. I don't know. And Black Myth Wukong, I'm definitely going to play that. And yes, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. So I feel kind of bad looking at this list, to be honest with you. I'm like, man, I didn't get to play a lot of the biggest games of the year. Last year I did. I think I played all of them last year on the list. So I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to do it this year. But hey, Astrobot, you got my vote right now. Astrobot has my vote. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this, and who would you have nominated for your game of the year? We'll see you next time, everyone.